So, on October 2nd, 2021, there's been a quote-unquote confirmation that Daredevil is back, and a big chunk of its main cast is going to appear in a new Marvel show entitled Echo, and then lead into a season 4 of Daredevil. The news was reported by Daniel RPK, where he released this information to his patrons, so that's why I just put quotes around the information. So why am I making a video on this? Well, for one, I'm really desperate for Daredevil content, and I'll do anything for a season 4.
Don't
what?
Don't give me hope.
And second, sometimes the source can be credible at points, and I actually do think it's quite plausible. And third, I think it'll just be fun to talk about some theories and what could potentially happen, you know, just a chill little video. But before I get into that, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and follow my social media to stay updated with me and my content. Alright. Let's get into it. So first I just want to get into what exactly the leak entails. The leak is that the up-and-coming Disney Plus Marvel show Echo will indeed feature most of the Daredevil cast members, and then presumably Daredevil will get his own show again, but it'll be a soft reboot. Now what would a soft reboot entail, and what does a soft reboot even mean? I think the most modern example of a franchise undergoing a soft reboot is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, where it utilizes the same characters from the 2016 David Ayer Suicide Squad, but reinvents it to fit a different narrative and tone. There's implications that these characters already know each other, but nothing is explicitly tying it to its previous incarnation. So I'm assuming that's what the Disney Plus Daredevil would be if that were the case. As in, Karen, Matt, and Foggy will be all together, and you can tell that there's established history there. However, they won't reference past events from the Netflix series. And perhaps they will tonally change the story and characters up a bit. For example, there's a rumor that Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin will take a more comic look approach, as in he'll just be super big and swole. So just minor changes like that, but same actors playing the same characters, just told in a new type of story. And how do I feel about this? I don't really know. One reason why I'm not too hot on that is because I love these characters so much because of what I've experienced with them. If they simply continue on with the same characters but never reference to their past, it can feel kinda shallow, I guess. And a lot of storylines in Daredevil as a whole rely on the characters' backstories and what they've gone through, so throwing all that away and pretending like it never existed would be a little disappointing. And to mention a bit of gray area here, it would be disappointing since Bullseye was set up at the end of season 3, and to not get the exact same incarnation back would be a huge missed opportunity to me. However, Daredevil season 3 does a masterful job of paying off almost everything the show had already set up. There's practically no loose ends by the time season 3 ends. We finally tee up those loose ends of Karen's backstory. Matt ends up making amends with Foggy and Karen. Kingpin is defeated and sent back to prison. We finally meet Matt's mother, and the two are on good terms. Karen killing Wesley is finally addressed, and there's essentially no cliffhanger by the time it ends. So even if it does do a soft reboot, it wouldn't matter too much since we were left quite satisfied in terms of paying off plotlines. Which leads me into my other perspective, in that it can be great. A soft reboot for these characters means that we can get even fresher stories with them, and explore various different avenues that the older series never could. We don't have to worry about the previous lore tying it down, we can just move on with fresh takes and storylines that move the narrative in an interesting way. After having 3 seasons of a show, it can be kinda nice to just have a fresh start, but still keep the same characters. In a way, it's like having our cake and eating it too. We get to stay comfortable with the characters we all know and love, and we get to reinvent them. I especially like this because of the Suicide Squad. It didn't ruin the 2016 one for the people who enjoyed that film, as in it didn't retcon anything, and the new movie doesn't end up changing the older one in any capacity. And the new one felt both like a promising sequel and its own thing. We can introduce a cool new tone, bring back the noir vibe, have more comic accurate characters, and overall it just brings in more possibilities than it could exclude. Now let's get into the next thing, and that, do I think it's likely? Well, I do think it makes sense that Disney and Kevin Feige would want to appease the fans and do their own thing. I mean, we've seen that Disney and Kevin Feige are cool in bringing Deadpool back as rated R, as in, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Daredevil is very much a thing that worked, so why heavily change that? So taking this approach makes a lot of sense, especially since a lot of the Disney Plus people watching the new Daredevil may not have seen the old one, so I suppose it would be better to mostly start fresh, instead of confusing people by focusing on storylines that are reliant on previous seasons of a show that they may not have seen yet. So everyone would kinda win in this scenario. Old fans will get to see the new characters we all know and love persist in a new series, and new fans will get to watch this show without the pressure of having seen 3 seasons and a spin-off show that's on another streaming service. And obviously it seems that Marvel is going into the multiverse route, so I think it would definitely be in their favor to bring in established characters that people already love, with Charlie Cox even being heavily rumored to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home. And narratively, it makes sense since Echo is getting her own show, and she can be briefly seen in the Hawkeye trailer, which is a show that's heavily influenced by a comic where Kingpin does have a heavy presence in. But who exactly is Echo? Echo was a deaf woman by the name of Maya Lopez whose father was killed by none other than Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. However, at the request of Echo's father, he asked Kingpin to take care of his daughter. So, like the gentleman that Kingpin is, he fulfilled this request and raised her like his own. And one thing that Kingpin noticed is that she is incredibly smart and is able to learn things very quickly just by looking at them. As in, she can memorize fighting styles very quickly just from observation, kinda like Taskmaster. Then one day she asks Kingpin how her father died, and Kingpin tells her that Daredevil killed her father, hence inserting her into the Daredevil world. So Echo observes a fight against Bullseye and Daredevil, where she learns his fighting style very well so that she would be able to kill Daredevil quite easily. The two fight and Matt obviously gets beat up, as per usual. But then things get cleared up where she learns that Kingpin was the one who killed her father, not Daredevil, and Daredevil and Echo end up falling in love. But that should be interesting because she's deaf and he's blind. Now I kinda wanna see that play out on screen. Sorry, Karen. And my theory is that they'll probably swap Daredevil with Hawkeye in this show. So Echo will be trying to hunt down Hawkeye because she thinks Hawkeye killed her father, or maybe Hawkeye even did kill her father when he was Ronin. Either way, I think it'll be a pretty interesting thing to adapt, and the likelihood is pretty high as we even see some of the Kingpin's potential goons in the Hawkeye show. And our boy Vincent D'Onofrio has just been liking a bunch of tweets saying that he's returning. I mean, obviously that could mean nothing, but it definitely doesn't dissuade us from thinking he'll be in it. And it seems like a big theme in the Hawkeye show is the legacy of Hawkeye. Kate Bishop seems like she worships Hawkeye and knows all the good he's done, and she's inspired by him. Then you'll have people like Yelena Belova who falsely think Hawkeye is the murderer of Black Widow. And you'll have people who most likely have a legitimate reason for hating Hawkeye because he went on a gigantic killing spree as Ronin during Endgame. So Echo trying to kill Hawkeye based off of things he's done in the past will tie right into that. Anyway, I got a bit off topic, but in short, yes, I do think Kingpin will return in Hawkeye and will eventually lead to the Daredevil characters appearing in Echo, and then leading to a Daredevil series once again. However, I won't rely on it happening though. Classic example being WandaVision, where they adapted a comic where Mephisto was heavily involved in, and the show seemed to be leaning in that direction. And then Mephisto turned out to not be in the show in any capacity, so I won't hold my breath or anything, but I do think and hope it will happen. I just hope that a Daredevil season 4 won't be watered down. Like, I do want them to go into that TVMA space again, even though it's not necessary. It does add a certain flavor that makes it distinct from all the other Marvel properties. In an age where there's gonna be like 10 plus Marvel projects per year, I think we can definitely use some more diversity in the projects. But anyway, those are my thoughts on a potential Daredevil season 4. What do you guys think of the leaks? Do you think that they're plausible? Do you even want them to happen? Whatever your thoughts are about this, I'd love to know them in the comments below. Also, I just want to briefly mention this for those of you who care. My 1000 sub special with Spectacular Spider-Man is still coming. It's gonna be like a really long video. I'm about 15 pages into it and I don't even think I'm halfway done writing it yet, so it is a bit on indefinite hold because I do want to make a few other videos. For instance, I want to do a video on Venom 2, Dune, maybe some Halloween video or something, what if, that, and I'm a bit swamped with school stuff, so I'm going to be held back a bit by that, but I do want to get those videos out somewhat soonish, so yeah. I just want to say thanks so much for the support lately, and if you have any other video that you want me to do, just tell me in the comments. And with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.